So, good evening teaching everyone. I am Laika Floreto, a second-year BS Criminology student of Sikusat Colleges. Tonight, I'm going to discuss about the 6th classification formula of fingerprint. So, we're going to attain the 6th classification formula, which is the primary, secondary, subsecondary, and the final, which came from the Henry Galton system. While the K and major classification came from the FBI modification and extension. And all throughout our discussion, we're going to focus on this table. So the first classification that we're going to do is the primary classification. So in this classification, we're just going to focus on whirl. Why whirl? Because whirl has only one that has a numerical value, unlike the loop and the arch. There are rules in primary classification, and the first one is pairing. So the first two consecutive blocks is the first pair, second pair, third pair, fourth pair, and the fifth pair. So the second rule is the assigning of numerical values. So there is a standard numerical values in each pair. So the first pair is 16, 8, and 4, 2, then 1. So we're not going to label this because these are not all whirl pattern. The third rule is the getting the denominator and the numerator. So what will be our denominator? So our denominator are the odd numbers, which is 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So how about our numerator? So those are the even numbers, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We first going to input the what is in the numerator. So just like what I've said earlier, that we're going to focus only on words. So if it is an arch or a loop, automatically it is 0. So let's first take a look on the numerator. This is a tented arch, so this is 0. This one is a plain arch, so 0 again, plus this one is a ulnar loop, so 0 again, plus this is an accidental whirl, so it has a value of 2. This is a double loop whirl and it has a value of 1. So how about the denominator? So this is a radial loop and it's a value of 0. Then this is a whirl and it has a value of 8. Plus this is a central pocket loop whirl and it has a value of 16, 8, 4. And this one is an ulnar loop, 0, plus this is a whirl and it has a numerical value of 1. So the third rule is the summation. So we're going to add all of this, and 2 plus 1 equals 3, while 8 plus 4, 12 plus 1 equals 13. But don't forget that there is a pre-established 1/1 that you're going to add. Why? Because just in case there is a whirl in this table, then there is a backup, which is the pre-established 1/1. So we're going to add again. 3 plus 1 equals 4, and then 13 plus 1 equals 14. So this is our primary division. So we're going to input here. The second one is the secondary division. So in this classification or in this division, we're going to input corresponding symbol of each fingerprint pattern. But then this two index fingers should be capital letters, while the thumb, middle, ring and the little fingers should be small letters, but if it is a radial loop, plain arch, and a tented arch. So this one is the guide. Now we're going to input. So this is a tented arch, a big letter T, while this one is an ulnar loop, so it will be big letter U. So how about for these small letters? Let's check if it is a radial arch, plain arch, or a tented arch. This is a radial loop, so it will be small letter R. That is swirl. Always remember that if it's not in the rod pattern, so you're going to put dash. Well, this one is plain arch, so we're gonna put small letter A. While the other one is the central pocket whirl and it's not belong to the rod patterns. Let's go to the denominator. So this one is a ulnar loop, so none. This is a accidental whirl, none. This one is a whirl, and that one is the double loop whirl. So this is our secondary division. So the third classification is the subsecondary classification or division. So the only concerned finger here is the index, middle, and the ring fingers, which can be applied by ridge counting of loop and whirl tracing of whirl. So we have a two table, which is the above table is for ridge counting for loop, while the below table is for whirl tracing for whirl. And remember that if it's not loop and whirl, then we're not going to trace or count. So we have here a tented arch and plain arch. We have four loop and a combination of loop and whirl. So we're going to use both table. So now we're going to put it on a fraction line. So this is a tented arch, this is a whirl, and that's a ridge count of 6 inside, so it will be inner. Well, this one is plain arch, so we don't need to ridge count or whirl trace. And this one is loop, so we're going to use the table. And this is an index finger, so 1 to 9 is inner. Second block is whirl again, so we're going to use the below table again. It is inside, one inside, and it is meeting. And this is whirl, and it's stated that four ridges outside, so it is outer. This is our subsecondary division. Classification that we're going to do is the major classification or division. So in this classification, we're going to focus on our major concern is our two thumb, and it is for loop and whirl pattern. So we have a three table, which is table 1, table 2, and the whirl table. First thing that we're going to look is our left thumb, which is this, and there will be no adjustment if it doesn't reach the ridge count of 17. If it's 1 to 16, then there's no adjustment that we're going to make. So it has a ridge count of 10, that's why we're going to use the table 1, both of our right and left terms. So now we're going to input this on the fraction line. So it has a ridge count of 10, so we're going to use the table 1. So this is 10, so it will fall under small. So how about this one? This is 15, we're still going to use the table 1, so this is medium. Is the final division or classification. In this classification, we're just going to focus on our 2 little fingers. We're going to reach count of loops or whirls. We must first check if it is a loop or whirl. So now we're going to input. So this is a central pocket loop whirl, and this has a reach count of 12. While this one is a double loop whirl, so it has a reach count of 8. So this is now our final classification. Our last classification is the K division or the K classification. So in this classification, we're going to look for the first loop in here, except for the little fingers because it was already in final classification. And what we will get is always represented as numerator. By the way, K classification is the unique among the 6 classification because it doesn't have a denominator. Now let's see where is our first loop. So this is our first loop, and now we're going to put it in our numerator. This is now our K classification. So now we're finished in attaining our 6th classification, which is the K, major, primary, secondary, subsecondary, and the final classification. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something. Goodbye.